the upright could mean trouble on this full moon.
Call it a result of your poor decisions, naive actions you take towards your very own people, you cowards.
Today we're going to be looking at 2 steps in psychological warfare from Kimberly ep5's cookbook, Self-Sabotage and Comparison. Now, I originally designed the Kimberly ep5's cookbook in order to teach people how to defend themselves against energy vampires and bullies and people who just put them into unfair situations, but they refuse to leave them alone. And today I'm going to discuss not clapbacks, not poetic justice, but just self-sabotage and comparison. It's when a person spends all their time watching you, waiting to see what you're going to say or do, and then they compare themselves to you. But then the actions they take as a result of their comparison makes them look really bad. And I'm not saying if people already formed a negative opinion about you that it's going to make you look much better, but it makes the individual who's in that state of comparison look really bad, and they will start to self-sabotage. So regarding comparison, let's say you put something on social media, for example. Whether it was meant to be taken seriously or just a joke might not really matter to the person or group listening to it. But going on social media and comparing yourself, your life, the things that you say, the things that you do, and how you would do things in comparison to how other people do things, is in that constant stage of comparison. I mean, not everybody's going to get along, not everybody's going to like each other. If you've never met somebody and you're already hating on them, it's probably best you don't watch them and compare yourself to them. But sometimes people become obsessed, and it could be detrimental to their mental health. I'll discuss it a little more. I mean, maybe everyone's not too fond of each other. Some people like each other, some don't. And that's fine. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression were things that shaped a nation. But if you don't like somebody, you're so in your head about that individual that you still watch them even when you don't like them. It's really, really a bad state of self-sabotage and comparison, because that in itself is somewhat of an obsession, which is a constant state of comparing you to the other person. And it's going to challenge your thoughts, your opinions, and you compare yourself to somebody so much who probably is not even thinking about you, especially if they don't know you and you've never met them. But it's an ongoing cycle for a hater, and the results could be detrimental to their mental health. If all you're doing is sitting there waiting for a person to say or post something so that you can react to it, and that you can make up your mind to judge them for this reason or that reason or that reason, you're already in that cycle where you're just going to wait to find something wrong intentionally, because you're in this constant tug of war with yourself, with another person who's not even thinking about you. The need to challenge an individual, correct them, attempt to compete with them is just one bad thing someone has going in the stage. But here comes the other part. The other part that's really, really bad is self-sabotage. And you couldn't just leave a person be, you couldn't stop watching them, you couldn't leave them alone, but you felt threatened by your own intrusive thoughts. And the original reason really has nothing at all to do with you, because they're not thinking about you. If these detrimental repetitions are not damaging enough for the individual who's always in a state of comparison and competition, the self-sabotage is when they actually start trying to correct the individual and compete with them. Because when somebody pisses me off and I don't like them and I get bullied a lot, it doesn't matter what I say. They're going to say what they say and do what they do anyways. But when I'm saying something and I'm not even thinking about an individual, like, how obsessed must you be to sit there and wait for me to say something and then twist the narrative in order to suit your needs so that you can maybe engage yourself in a one-sided competition, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. It's already damaging enough to the person's mental health who is constantly comparing themselves to you, but they waited for you just to say something on your social media, and they made sure they became triggered because that was what they wanted. And I don't think anything outside of therapy can fix it, to be honest. Since they hate you so much, yet they watch you and wait to become triggered. They're a very victim of their own intrusive thoughts, and it's devastating for them. It's going to affect their reputation. It's going to affect the way they do things in their lives. It's devastating, and they need therapy. They will start to sabotage their own reputation by mocking, challenging, and trying to compete with you. But you weren't trying to compete, and you weren't trying to mock them. You weren't even thinking about them. It's just a one-sided sort of thing. So when you have an individual who's waiting for you to post something, then you post it, and then they post something related to what you post when you don't even think about them, you might not even know them. It's going to make them look bad, and that's where the self-sabotage comes in, along with the comparison, which was already damaging enough to their mental health. And the thing about psychological warfare is that you don't always have to clap back. Sometimes you're just not going to put up with bullshit, but other times you're like, why am I engaging in an energetic tug of war with this individual who doesn't really know me at all, probably has never met me, thinks they know me, watches me obsessively, but I don't watch them obsessively, and they have an obsession with watching me and waiting to become triggered by the things I say and the things I post. So the only way out is therapy. I'm sorry to say it, but those are just 2 steps in psychological warfare from Kimberly Ep5's cookbook. The thing about bullying and narcissism and a sense of inferiority is that sometimes somebody who feels really small will attempt to push you around or just try to make an example out of you because they don't feel too good about themselves. And I've been there. But I don't spend all my time and energy focusing on other people. I'm too busy doing my own thing. And if you're out there doing something important, I suggest you try doing your own thing, because the chances are you got a better paying job than I have. The chances are you have more resources than me. The chances are you have a higher friendship circle than I have. But the way I interpret life is all that stuff doesn't matter if everybody's willing to kind of stab you in the back and be low vibrational just for money and social status. But unfortunately, that's the way the world is. Until next time, it's Kimmy Baby signing out.
The tower in the upright could mean trouble, friends, for me.
Call it a result of your poor decisions, naive actions you take towards your very own people, you cowards.